All right, so with the recent push that Kendrick Lamar has had in 2024, with completely demolishing the big three argument,
it's just me.
With the takedown of both Drake and J. Cole this summer, and I did say both of them because he did take them both down, even if Cole bowed out.
Still went down.
The summer cultural hit Not Like Us and his new Super West Coast project in GNX has Atlanta been overtaken by the West?
No.
No. But the resurgence is dope. I love it. I'm excited about it, and I hope to see it continue to grow legs. But no.
But this is the
why
thing.
do you say no, though?
Look, I mean, because we're so used to saying Atlanta's running things, and I think about, once again, seeing how culture moves in real time. 𝗗𝗘𝗘𝗧𝗦 is from where?
Memphis.
Okay. Meg Thee Stallion is from where?
Texas.
Houston.
Taking it back, even, where is Sexy Red from?
Not the
St. Louis.
South.
Midwest.
Okay. There we go. Shout out to Midwest. If we're going to take it back, when
So we're talking specifically regional. Then.
So no, what I'm saying is we're so used to saying Atlanta got it.
Yeah.
That it's been moving around for
The
a
South.
minute.
I see what you're saying.
No, I'm not even saying the South because technically St. Louis is Midwest.
Yeah.
We're talking about the West Coast. We talking about. I mean, Texas is the South, but the
Texas is
the
South.
South that is Texas is a lot different than the South that is Memphis and is Atlanta.
Don't let Pimp C hear you say that.
Please.
Oh well, let's
Rest in peace.
But I guess so. Maybe it's the idea that Atlanta is the mecca of, or is the new mecca,
The flashpoint of
Yeah.
Atlanta's the new Motown.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like that's been the thing, right? But with what Kendrick is kind of doing and how he is
concentrating power.
Exactly. He is concentrating on the West Coast with his projects, with the West Coast getting behind him, but then also the other artists that it's not like the West Coast ever went away, right?
No.
They've always been strong, but like with the newfound leader of hip hop, if you will, and that's arguable, if you want to consider it new, but with Kendrick claiming and taking his throne essentially without anybody like really challenging him at this point, I feel like that argument can really could be made.
I feel like if we're going to be realistic though, between Tyler, Ab-Soul put out an incredible project.
Very good.
𝗏𝗘𝗘𝗧𝗦.
Yep, 𝗏𝗘𝗘𝗧𝗦 as well. Well, she's from
Florida.
Yeah, but where is she based now?
Yeah.
But Jay, to your point, I'm looking at
And then we talk
Cube,
TDE. Let's just
let's just say TDE.
Cube.
And honestly, the two songs that I've heard from Missionary, from Snoop and Dre,
Yes.
it's about to be a problem.
So that's the age gap to me is what makes this dope about the resurgence, because it's the OGs that we grew up on all the way down to Kendrick, and then
Younger.
the group of the younger people that are younger than him.
He literally just put on.
So that gives them a leg in the race. I'm just saying, and we could be indoctrinated from the standpoint of just thinking about Atlanta, like y'all said. But bro,
Tyler.
No, Tyler's for sure. But what I'm saying is that South, if you want to just take it from Atlanta but still go to the South, I still think that's the dominant.
Yes, you can say
presence.
you can say the South. You could, because right now, if you're going to say the South, that's a whole region.
If you want to
Texas,
pivot it to the
Atlanta,
South outside
Memphis,
of Atlanta,
Florida,
right.
But then you're talking about. I'm talking about right now. Just L.A., Southern California is putting numbers on the board.
Yes.
Off Tyler and Kendrick alone, they didn't smack everybody else to me.
Then on the R&B
Especially-
side, you got SZA.
But
she's
like-
right there.
Facts.
But I think like even let's think beyond this. This is the argument that I want to bring.
Okay.
Beyond simple sales, when we talk about like cultural movement within what Kendrick is doing and the fact that he is selling, but also like
Tyler too.
Tyler's unique cultural push. 𝗏𝗘𝗘𝗧𝗦, granted she's TDE, but she's not definitely Florida. But like I feel like there's something to be said with like the fact that the West Coast LA based stuff isn't super like commercial heavy in the sense like it's not like that's not the first thing. But when you think of like Atlanta, you think of this person because they're selling.
100%.
It's not like the music is good and then this. It's like when you talk about the West Coast, it's the music and then they're also doing well.
It's the product first. That's facts.
When we talk about that region, it's like it rings off in the clubs and then the strip clubs. But when we're talking about Tyler, we talk about Kendrick, we talk about SZA, we talk about basically everything that's on TDE. We're talking about artistic integrity.
We're talking about the sound essentially. So
yeah.
So what I'll say to that is like they always say that history repeats itself.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, what we're experiencing is what Big was talking about on Life After Death. I'm trying to sell records like Snoop. He literally let you know that at that point in time, the West Coast had the crown. He said Snoop, but that was a whole movement. That was the G-Funk era that they talked about. Now, granted, East Coast still was putting on. I mean, Wu-Tang and all them were coming up at the same time.
Yeah.
But the sounds were different. This is what Tyler was talking about, how everybody sounds like clones. What West Coast is doing, they're not, nobody essentially sounds the same.
Yeah.
So, like, if we point at Atlanta, we know what the influence is there.
Mm-hmm.
We know what the sound is there. It's very similar. Nobody in Atlanta has moved the needle to the point where we're like, oh, let's check them out.
It's like
the
Earth
same
Gang, maybe, I guess.
Earth Gang. And
That's a big outlier. Earth
they
Gang.
are.
Yeah.
And they actually just dropped a very dope album.
But they're the exception.
They're the exception.
Very big exception.
And JID.
Yeah.
JID.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call him.
He's cold.
But
And Mike.
when you think about on the grand scheme of things, or like what's being pushed or what you hear the most, it's kind of the same type of thing, unless, like Jay Moore said, we go regional and just say the South.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, LA is a big enough state to compete with just the South, essentially. But you have artists that are really putting on and doing what they got to do, and doing it different sounds. So I'm interested to hear what the Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg project actually sounds like going forward.
Yeah.
To kind of cement that, because Ice Cube is crazy. So Kendrick dropped a project to overshadow Ice Cube's whole release.
I thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like,
True.
Unfortunately, a lot of people haven't even listened to that Ice Cube.
Yeah.
A week prior, Ab Soul dropped an album.
Yeah.
Ab Soul's album is fire.
I listened to it.
And Kendrick alludes to, that's what kind of made me kind of polish my pen, essentially,
On the Hard
is
Part
listening
6.
to Ab Soul rap. And Ab Soul is kind of like a rapper's rapper, essentially.
Yeah.
He's not anybody that's like a mainstream or somebody that's even aspiring to be mainstream, but he's a rapper's rapper. You can't deny his lyrical talent.
True.
And I don't know, the West Coast just is one of them situations where they got something to say, and it's just different, I guess, man.
And be clear, 𝗗𝗘𝗘𝗧𝗦 out here moving units.
Yes.
I saw a live performance of him doing pretty essentially the record. The whole crowd knew it. And it's like he's moving units with it.
Because people aren't just, I listened to it that first week. People are living with it.
They knew every
They're
song,
living
bro.
with that,
I
Tyler.
watched it. They knew every song. So I say that to say, to me, I would love for this to continue to balance everything out.
He actually
with the West.
opened up at the pop-up show.
Yeah. Like,
So-
I'd love it. I'd love for this to happen. I would. But right now, I still think, even if you want to go outside of Atlanta, I still think it's Southern.
I don't know if I really agree with that.
I think it's Southern.
Because when you also talk about the extensions too, we haven't talked about the Alchemists and the Mad Libs as from a producer
Cali.
aspect. It's
yeah.
Cali. It's Cali. You know, when you talk about Blue and Exile are dropping new albums and stuff and moving stuff. When you talk about Pac Divs are back. Larry June's back.
Larry June is very popular.
It's like there's a big West Coast movement.
Hell,
right now.
Ab Soul's record produced by Ninth Wonder got Vince Staples on it. Like
Vince Staples.
Yeah,
Ninth-
Vince Staples.
I didn't know Ninth produced that record.
Yeah, he produced that record. I saw.
Oh,
they
you
was-
mean the specific song? Gotcha.
Yeah, and they produced, and they had a video for that, and I saw Vince Staples out there with Ab Soul and a whole bunch of other people.
Vince Staples got a whole Netflix TV show.
Yeah, so I mean, listen, I'm for it. I just think right now, I don't know, Lone. I still think it's down there right now. But
Okay.
I hope I'm wrong. I swear I do.
I don't know. When you put everything together, this is another West Coast renaissance that we're probably moving into 2025 with.
Time
I hope
repeats
so.
itself.
I hope so.
I love it.
The musicality that the West Coast brings to hip hop is something that
different.
is sort of, when they're really in their bag,
Yeah,
that's when you get
You know
those.
why?
it's a good product,
Yeah.
bro.
That's when
because
you
it's
get those
influenced by the Midwest. I just love saying
no,
it.
you're
That's
right
true.
because
But I love that you keep saying
love
that,
it.
so they know.
I mean
love
that's Zapp and Roger. That's Midwest.
Come on,
True.
man.
I was just having this conversation with some of my students last night. I was like talking about how West Coast influence, the Kendrick project is, even from like some of the funky type bass lines.
yeah.
And I was like, it's interesting because like all that is realistically influenced from the Midwest anyway.
Facts.
So it's like, even though we call it the West Coast, it's really Midwest.
Come on, man.
They I mean, granted, and I ain't gonna take nothing away from the West Coast. West Coast definitely put their flavor on it
For sure.
but the kind of the influence going in is a whole lot of Midwest in there, man.
Facts.
That's all I gotta say.
Facts.
And I guess West is part of Midwest, so
Kind of. I
say
always
that.
consider it as Mid-East. I don't.
yeah, it is.
They're a long way away, bro.
Yeah.
They're a long way away.
Okay. So you guys say maybe not. I say
Not yet, Lone. I hope I'm wrong, but not yet, bro.
I think you're wrong. I think
I'll take that.
So there's a
I think it's a
possibility.
renaissance.